Um, yes, I want to talk about this topic. This is going to be really, really good. Um, I got a scripture that I want to start with, and I'm going live on Instagram and on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube. So let's talk about this topic. Share this video with someone. Please share this video with someone. Let's start off with the scripture. And of course, you see about why one reason why you possibly can't find your potential spouse. And being married on the other side, I talk to a lot of single people, coach a lot of single people. Then I can listen to your message. Yeah, I don't want to, no shade to my single coaches. Love y'all. But, I've been through the trenches before, and I get it. I know it's tough out here dating as a single person. Um, Happily married over 7 years now. That doesn't mean our marriage is perfect. That does mean that we deal with stuff too, and there's a lot of things I've learned that this 47 years of age. I'll be 48 next month. So make sure that uh, share this video with someone. Okay, so let's jump into it. James chapter 1, verse 19 says this: Let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. James chapter 1, verse 19. I'll repeat that again. Let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. This is very important when it comes to listening, communication. There's 3 steps. Okay, I'm going to jump right into it because I don't have all day. Here's the reason why you can't find your potential spouse. Because there's this one word does that throws everyone off. And I'm sure it throws you off too when someone does this to you. The word is deflect. Let's talk about the word deflect. Definition is, and I'm going to go somewhere with this, cause something to change direction or turn aside from a straight course. That's the definition of deflect. Cause something to change direction, turn aside from a straight course. Also, I love this definition: a defense mechanism where someone avoids criticism or blame by shifting the focus or responsibility onto someone or something else. Now, in this social media space that we're in, we see all these conversations about what men want, what women want, what we aren't getting, what we want, all these different things, right? But what I see in a lot of these conversations is, and this is something that you can apply to your relationship today, no one is listening. That's the problem. No one is listening. How many times have you talked to your spouse or your significant other or someone you're dating and they're always interrupting you? Or when you say, and you're in a conversation, you're talking with other people, and you say, as a woman, women like this. But then a guy, or vice versa, a woman, whoever, I'm an equal opportunity employer. I'm not throwing shade to men or women. This is something that we both do. But you see people get passionate about stuff, and then they'll say, but as a man, and it's like, no, we're not talking about you right now, you know, or women, but this is what we deal with. We're not talking about women right now. We're talking about men, or we're talking about women. Let's stay on topic. So if a woman is talking about what women want, or what she wants, a lot of times guys deflect, and then they get into why men aren't getting what they want. So when we take time to actually, when you are a good listener, that's more attractive. Let's go into, instead of deflecting or shifting the blame, listen. Why not listen? And again, this plays huge in your relationship as well, because you can take the time to say, tell me more, or help me to understand this. Help me to understand what you're saying. You see how that shifts the atmosphere, opposed to, but women do this and women, no, no, let's stay on topic. So instead of shifting the blame, when you lean in and you start to listen, now that person feel like they have the floor. They feel like they want to be heard. How many of you like to be heard in your relationship? Give me a thumbs up or a comment. How many of you like to be heard in your relationship, or even when you're on a date? How much more valuable it is to know that someone is listening to you. How many of you want to be seen and heard? Right? A lot of us, we want to be seen and heard. So instead of shout out to the late Natasha. Oh my gosh, she's one of my favorite people in the world, Natasha Stevens. And she said this, I'll never forget. She said, "Healed people hear differently." I'll repeat that again. Healed people hear differently. See, when you're healed, a lot of times you don't have to try to combat. You don't have to try to deflect. You don't have to, because you want to lean in because you care about this person, or you really want to learn about the opposite sex. Women and men give away so much free game out here. And because most people aren't willing to listen, they shut that person down. See, if I was single, if I was out in these single streets and women are saying what they want, I'm listening. I'm not about to deflect. I'm not about, no, no, I'm not deflecting. No, I want to listen because I'm interested in what you have to say. I mean, shoot, they teach us that in relationship culture. You know, you just can't be interrupting and deflecting or always talking about yourself. You have to be willing to listen. And that person is going to give you so much. They're going to give you so much information about themselves, or so much about women, or so much about men. And it gets to a place where people want to hear from you more often, because great listeners, people like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? How many of you like that, where, people are actually taking the time to listen to what you have to say? So deflecting will always put you in the back of the bus. It will always put you further away from where your desired goal wants to be. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them below. Would love to hear from you. But we have to be more intentional about listening, because when we're in these groups and we're having this man and women talk, and we have that great debate, the gender wars, especially among African American people, no one is listening. No one is listening, and you're missing out on some great chances to hear what the opposite sex needs. Now, I'm not saying this that you use it as an advantage, but actually listen to gain some insight. Because as a man, you're not a woman, so let the woman talk. As a woman, you're not a man, so listen to what the man is saying. And when you have this in your toolbox and you're single, when you are training yourself to be a great listener and to ask questions. I remember, quick story, when my wife and I were dating, we dated long distance. And so her thing was, because she's inquisitive, she would just like to know more. She would always ask questions. But at the time, I was just like, why are you asking so many questions? I'm just like, this is what I told you, that that was it. And she will want to know the details and all these different. I'm not a big detail person. I'm kind of more of overall arching theme kind of thing. I'm like the headline, and then if you want to know the details, that's further down the road. But I'm headline kind of guy. And so I used to get offended by that, because I'm just like, I gotta tell you more. I gotta be more detail oriented. But over time, I realized that she genuinely wants to know. Now I like when she asks me questions, because I'm like, oh, she really is really interested in what I have to say. So I think we should do that more often when we're in these circles, when we're having these debates with men and women. take the necessary time to listen, and we become more valuable that way. Don't deflect. Next time you jump online, and I know you might be passionate about something, because I think that's the issue. A lot of times we get so passionate about something that, right, yep, get insight. We're so passionate that we're cutting people off. You don't want that. You want people to feel safe. So by doing that, and I'm not going to stay long because I got to get out of here. And by doing that, you will add more value to other people. Um, if you have any questions, let me know. I want to say, next time you're on a date, this is brought to you by our sponsor, the Love Fearlessly Intimacy Card Deck. This is something that my wife and I created. And if you are getting to know someone, if you are you could have been with someone over 10 years. People are always changing, they're always evolving. There's 30 questions that my wife and I created. And no shade to anybody else who have these card decks, but this comes from a husband and wife duo. We actually put our minds together. So here's one question. I just want to run this by you real quick. One question to the intimacy card deck is, how do you manage conflicts or disagreement within a relationship? These are questions that's in the card deck that can be very informative. You can really get to learn a lot about the person that you're with or the person you're dating, and to listen, to be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. A lot of times people get angry because they don't like to hear the answer that someone has, that they said. And that's something that you have to ask yourself. You have to ask yourself, why am I upset? Why is it that I don't like their response? But they're sharing their experience. So you have to do some inner work and see, why am I frustrated with the answer? Or why do I feel like I have to cut this person off every time they're talking? These are just small communication tips. So next time, make sure that you want to ask more questions, be more inquisitive, listen. Don't try to automatically formulate the answer in your head already. I know a lot of times men struggle with that because we're trying to figure out everything. Um, and so next time, if you do even have a disagreement or fall out with your spouse or your significant other, ask yourself, why am I frustrated? What pain is in me that's causing me to react the way I do? I'm big on emotional wellness and emotional regulation. And I've learned that over time myself, that we have to get control of our emotions. Emotions are great servants, but they're terrible masters. Uh, so make sure that you go to the website at scaredtoremarry.com, pick up your intimacy card deck. And I also wrote my latest ebook, Another Chance: How to Find Love Again After Heartbreak. How do you know that you're truly over your ex? How do you know that you're ready to get back out into this dating field? Make sure you pick up the ebook. It's a great resource so many questions that you can ask yourself, to be able to journal. Print out the ebook so you can write in it. I think it will help so many people who are willing to get back out in the dating field and to discover themselves again and to be healthy and whole. I mean, none of us will be perfect, but I think if we do a little more research on ourselves, understanding our backstory and why we react to certain things that when they're said to us, we want to get behind that. So thanks again, everyone. Check out the website, scaredtoremarry.com. No deflecting. Make sure that we become great listeners and not to be so angry because someone says something that we might not agree with. All right, y'all. Take care.